Some moments carve themselves into you like bone-deep bruises. For me, it was realizing a room full of people could be drenched in joy, while I sat there feeling like my own body was quietly sawing through its last thread of strength, and somehow, the only thing anyone wanted was that I stay out of the pictures. Beginning, the girl behind the centerpieces. If you walked into the Aurora Grand Hall that night, you'd think you'd stepped into a fairy tale someone overspent on. Crystal chandeliers dripping down like captured lightning. A cake so tall it looked engineered, not baked, every surface glazed with soft gold, like even the air had been polished. And then there was me, shoved behind a mountain of white orchids tall enough to qualify as a fire hazard. The wedding coordinator called it a cozy spot with extra privacy. Right, privacy. As in, let's stash Rowan where the photographers won't trip over her chemo cheeks. My body was still swollen from the last round of treatment. My hair had given up weeks before I did that. I barely recognized myself, just a pale, sketched out version of the person I used to be. Meanwhile, my older sister, Elara, floated through the room in a gown stitched from pure ego and imported silk. Her husband, Julian, had that spotless lawyer smile, the kind that only exists on billboards and people who think life bends toward them by default. Every so often someone would wander toward my table, pretending to check on me. Really, they just wanted to peek at the family's embarrassing plot twist. My aunt knelt beside me, lips stretched into a sympathy grimace. "Oh, Rowan," she sighed, patting my hand like I was a wounded pet. "You're looking so much better than we expected." Expected, like my side effects came with a weather forecast. Then my cousin leaned in, tone dipped in quiet judgment. "It's really brave of you to be here with everything. Everything. As if my cancer diagnosis was just an annoying side quest I could delay until after the reception. My illness wasn't a crisis. It was an inconvenience. Middle. The speech that cut deeper than the surgery. The DJ clinked the mic, and the room settled. My younger sister, Ivy, perfect skin, perfect hair, perfect everything, stepped forward. "When Elara planned this wedding," she said sweetly, "she wanted the day to stay elegant and free from distractions." Her gaze drifted toward me. A soft smile. A razor underneath. "Some of us have had personal challenges this year," she continued, "but Elara has handled everything with such grace. Grace, distractions, personal challenges." I felt each word like it was tightening a rope around my ribs. By the time the room erupted into applause, I felt myself collapsing inward, shrinking behind the orchids until I was nothing but a quiet shape in the shadows. And that's when it happened. The ballroom doors opened. 4 people in hospital badges stepped inside like they were entering an operating room. Not a wedding. At the front was Dr. Adrian Vale, my oncologist. A man whose schedule was booked months in advance and who never, ever left the hospital unless someone's life depended on it. Behind him, Dr. Serena Kale, chief of medicine. 2 members of the clinical research board. My heart practically left my body. Why were they here? Dr. Vale approached the head table first. Elara's face twisted into alarm, then irritation, then blame. She snapped her attention to me like I'd crashed her honeymoon. Then he reached my table. "Rowan," he said softly, "we need to speak. Immediately." Everything froze, even the string quartet fell silent mid-note. My aunt puffed up like a peacock defending territory. "Excuse me, this is a private event." Dr. Vale stood straighter. "I'm Dr. Adrian Vale. Rowan has been under my care for the past 9 months." The word oncology rippled through the hall like a dropped glass. Elara stormed over, Vale trembling. "This is my wedding. Whatever appointment she missed can obviously wait." Dr. Vale's expression hardened. "It cannot wait, Mrs. Aldrin, her pathology update is urgent." Dr. Kale stepped forward. "We've been trying to reach her for 2 days. Given recent concerns about her stress environment, we came directly." Stress environment, translation: "Your family is draining her faster than the cancer is," Elara protested. "Our family has supported her." Dr. Vale raised a single brow. "By hiding her behind centerpieces?" A quiet gasp fluttered across the room. Then, before anyone could stop them, they set up a portable projector. Elara screeched, "You cannot show medical files at my wedding." But the lights dimmed, and there, towering above the dance floor, was the inside of my body. My tumor, captured in brutal grayscale. Dr. Vale narrated calmly, "This was Rowan's tumor at diagnosis, 5 centimeters, early lymph node spread." The room murmured in shock. Dr. Kale added, "She has endured 18 chemo rounds, 32 radiation sessions, and a complex surgery your family dismissed as her little setback." Little setback. I felt something inside me snap clean in half. then the next slide appeared. My newest scan. For the first time in months, I saw it clearly. Hope, the mass has shrunk by 92%, Dr. Vale said. No signs of metastasis. Her response is extraordinary. Applause burst through the room, not polite, not hesitant, but genuine. At my sister's wedding, people were cheering for me, but then came the part that nearly stopped my breathing. Dr. Kale stepped forward. Rowan has been selected for an international clinical trial. Her case could redefine treatment protocols worldwide. The chandeliers seemed to hum with electricity. My mother covered her mouth, tears spilling. We didn't know. Dr. Kale's voice cooled. She protected you from her reality while drowning in it alone. Climax. The words I never planned to say. The ballroom hung in complete silence. Then Dr. Vale said the line that broke the whole night open. In 28 years of treating patients, I've never seen someone stronger. Or more isolated. Ilara whispered. We didn't realize how serious it was. I stood up, legs trembling but stronger than they'd been in weeks. You knew it was cancer, I said quietly. You just didn't want it to clash with your color palette. A ripple moved through the room. No one spoke. No one dared. Ending. The night I stopped shrinking, Dr. Vale placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. Rowan, it's time. The trial team is waiting. As I walked toward the exit, the crowd parted. The girl they hid behind flowers, the girl they tiptoed around like a blemish on their perfect evening, the girl they tried to shrink into the shadows, but I wasn't shrinking anymore. I was outgrowing the room. When the car door shut behind me, I inhaled, really inhaled, and it felt like the first real breath I'd taken in almost a year. Here's the irony. My sister spent months planning the perfect wedding, but the only moment anyone remembered was when they finally saw the person they tried so hard not to look at. Not a burden, not a blemish, not a distraction, but a survivor standing at the edge of a new beginning.